Okay, so in case anybody's going to ask me about this, okay, this is 40 pounds of raw chicken backs. It is frozen. We do feed them frozen. It's better for them to have it frozen. There are many reasons why I feed it frozen, why it's better for them. For one, it helps to clean their teeth. It helps to strengthen their teeth. It helps to sharpen their teeth. Helps strengthen their jaw. It also helps to stimulate their brain. It's an enrichment thing for them to help them like have to work for the food a little bit. In the wild, they eat frozen meat all the time. A lot of times they eat animals that have been frozen for several days, weeks, or sometimes even months. If they pass away in the early fall and they're frozen all winter, happens all the time. They have no problem with it. Their jaws are about 2 to 3 times stronger than the average dog. Dogs' jaws are between 300 to 500 psi. Wolves are between 12 to 1500 psi. They're much more powerful. Now, it also helps to. It's more sanitary for us and for them. It helps to kill parasites as well. We have to handle this meat. We have to buy a lot of it at a time. So freezing it helps us to be able to handle it more often. It also can, if you freeze it for 4 days, freeze it all the way through, it will kill parasites in there, which is really important to do. Come on, buddy, good boy. It also better for the digestive system because they eat it slower. You ever heard the term wolfing it down? The term wolfing it down comes from how wolves eat really fast. When wolves are in the wild, they eat really fast because they're always prepared for a human to come around or another wolf to come around or a bear or even coyotes or something to come around and scare them away from their food. Now here, it's still in their natural instincts to eat fast and to be afraid of that stuff, but they don't have to be like that. So there's no reason for them to be like that. So when they eat it slower, it's actually better for them. So we try to feed them as frozen as much as possible. It's much better for them. I know a lot of y'all, you should just cook it in the oven, but they don't get ovens out in the wild. We try to give them as much close to a natural experience as we can. It's better for them. It's healthier for them. Try to work with it. This is chicken backs, okay? We get about 40 pounds of it. Lasts about, a day and a half, 2 days, sometimes between 7 of them. It's very good for them. It's okay to feed them bones as long as it's raw. If you cook it, when you cook chicken, that reduces the integrity of it, and it can then a splinter in the stomach or esophagus, pierce them, and it also is hard for them to digest. So when you feed them raw, you can give them the bone, and the bone is a really important nutrient in there. So when you cook it, they can no longer have that nutrient, so then you have to find the nutrients that you're missing out on somewhere else. So it's really important to make sure you give them the bones as well. I personally always supervise them whenever they eat raw meat. For one, raw meat's a high value food. They can get in a little, little fights back and forth when they're eating a high value food. They usually don't, but it's something you should be aware of. Additionally, when they're eating stuff like this, sometimes they do still tend to eat really fast, and it does have bones that you want to be careful. You don't want them to choke on it or something like that. So always be careful with stuff like that. And I don't want them to go and bury it in the yard. They bury it in the yard. Who knows how long it'll be buried out there. And if they bury it in the yard, then I don't want them to bury it up, or I don't want them to forget about it and it stays out there buried for half the summertime. That's not going to be good for the flies in the summertime. As you see, I try to feed them out of my hand as much as possible because that helps to reduce food aggression. You want this? Draco. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't have to worry about him because he doesn't have food aggression. He's the sweetest boy ever. But him, I'm just trying to feed him out of my hand, not actually for food aggression, trying to feed him out of my hand just to help him and I bond a little bit because he's still terrified of me, which is common. Wolves and wolf dogs are often terrified of humans, especially men. So same with him. Same thing with him. I'm trying to work on him as well. Yeah, our dogs have the same exact diet as the wolf dogs. They all have the same diet. Yeah, replacing 30% of your dog's kibble diet with 30% raw meat can reduce the chances of them going to the vet for an unexpected illness or injury by 200%. So it does help. Studies have shown that it is way more benefit. It does benefit a lot to feed a dog a little bit more raw meat in their diet than all kibble. If you have any questions, feel free to type them down.